everyone, Amber here. Welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm just going to share with you how to make these super cute, super fun tassels. They are really easy to make. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you the supplies that you will need. So you can either use yarn or thread, but I prefer the embroidery floss. I just had these stashed away forever and I decided to finally put them to use. So all of these I believe are from Michaels, but any craft store should have them. So this is just the color selection that I'm going to be using today to make my tassels. The second supply you need are these jewelry hoops. I found this pack of 50 at Michaels for about $3. The size is 12 millimeters in the color gold. And the last supply is this 2-ply lame cord in the color gold. Want to make our tassels pretty. I had never ever heard of lame cord in my life until I decided to make these tassels. So luckily the people at Michaels were able to help me find it. And I believe it was also in the jewelry section. Alright, so I'm just showing you here the different size tassels you can make. You can see that yellow one is super chunky and then the blue one is kind of smaller. So depending on how much yarn or thread or string you use, that will determine how chunky or small your tassel is. So this is kind of silly, but I like to use my phone as a template to make my bundle of thread for my tassel. My phone is almost 6 inches long, and I find that that just works for the size tassel I like to make, which is about 2.5 inches. So you'll see what I mean here. I'm just going to take my phone and wrap the embroidery thread around my phone. So I like to do this anywhere from 9 to 13 times. I find that that gives me a good sized tassel. If you want a thicker tassel, definitely feel free to wrap your thread around more times. If you don't want to use your phone, because like I said, it's a bit silly, but it works. Just use something that's about 6 inches long, and that's kind of sturdy because you want the thread to be in a nice bundle. So once you have your thread wrapped, just go ahead and cut off the excess, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so you can see here that I'm just pulling the thread off of my phone, and now I have a nice little bundle that looks very similar to the kind that you would buy in the store. It's probably about 1/3 to half a size that the original bundle was. So now I'm just going to take one end of my new bundle, pinch it together, and put it through the hole of the jewelry hoop. And then I'm going to pull it down so that there's an equal amount of thread on each side. And I'm going to make sure that those ends meet up at the bottom, just so it's going to be nice and even later when we cut it. Alright, and the last step, which is probably the most tedious, but still super easy, I'm going to take that 2-ply lane cord and I'm just going to leave a little bit of excess that I'm going to use to tie the knot. So what I'm showing you there is just that however much of the lame cord you decide to use will determine the thickness of the gold strip on your tassel. I recommend going around 5 to 7 times. Any more than that, the lame cord isn't exactly matte. It kind of slips around a bit, so if you go thicker, you might notice that it kind of loses its shape. So you can see here I'm just leaving a little bit of excess cord hanging off, and then I'm just going to go ahead and start wrapping near the top of my tassel and try to keep it tight and neat. And then once I'm happy with the amount of cord I have, I'm just going to cut the excess off, again leaving a little bit over so I can tie my knots. So the tutorial I use, which I will link in the description down below, said to double knot the cord, but like I said, the cord is kind of slippery, and I noticed that after handling the tassel for a little while, it kind of came undone and then I had to redo it, which is a waste. of the cord. So I like to at least knot the cord 3 to 4 times. I find that this just makes a tassel more durable, and if you're going to be using the tassel on a project, your planner, happy mail, you really want it to hold up. So I'm showing you there that the ply cord kind of frays a little bit, and that when you're tying the knots, that can make it a bit frustrating. But just go slow and it'll work fine. And once you have your knot tied, go ahead and cut off the excess, and now we just have one last thing to do before your tassel is done. So you can see there's like little loops at the bottom of your tassel now, and it kind of looks super messy. So we're just going to take some scissors and we're going to cut straight across to give it that nice clean look. So this is where you can really get creative. You can decide how long or short you want your tassel to be. I like to just cut off the bottom of that loop first, and then from there decide if I want it shorter or longer. But like I said earlier, I tend to like to keep my tassels about anywhere from 2 to 2.5 inches. I think is a really cute length, but again, it's up to you. And now your tassel is complete. So that's how you make these super easy tassels, guys. Like I said, the tutorial I used was a Maggie Holmes one, and I will leave it in the link below. So definitely check that out. And yeah, I'm just going to make a few more tassels on camera for you guys, just so you can see the process a bit more. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below in the comment section and I will get back to you. Also, if you do decide to create these tassels, feel free to tag me on Instagram at Bambi's Mail. I would love to see them. And yeah, I'll link that in the description as well. So, okay guys, happy crafting, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.